Hello. Do you have a dream, a goal you want to reach? Do you want to thrive in everyday life? Have you ever experienced that life can be stressful with a lot of tasks and interruptions? And at the end of the day, you think, whoa, where did time go? We all have 24 hours, both the successful and the non-successful. So how do you invest your time? Are you time wise or is time slipping away? The good thing is that time is yours and you're the pilot in control. So as I say, let's skip to the good part. In this podcast, I will show you solutions that can help you to be time wise, get to your goals faster, and thrive in everyday life. You will get my insights and also those from my guest. So enjoy. Who am I to talk about this? I'm a certified efficiency coach and a black belt in Lean Six Sigma. I've worked in big professional companies for decades, and I'm a mom of 4 small kids. So follow me on this journey. Today we have a guest. Welcome to Charlotte. Can you shortly tell who you are and what you do, Charlotte?
Hi, Christy. Thanks for having me on your podcast. It's a real pleasure to be with you and everyone today. My name's Charlotte Moir. I'm a certified personal transformation trainer, and part of what I do is focus, and I'm a coherence coach. So I help overstretched women in business to realize ultimate fulfillment through self-mastery and personal transformation, so they may embody their glory, radiance, and grace, and create a powerful ripple effect of positive impact in the world.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. So what are we two going to talk about today? We've picked a topic that might interest a lot of you. It's called How to Get a Powerful Concentration and Develop a Laser-like focus. Wanting to hear more? Let's go into today's topic. Charlotte, where have you learned about this topic before?
I did a certification last year, and my mentor, he taught us this. It's one of the modules in the program, in fact.
Oh, interesting.
And it really appealed to me because I'm somebody who kind of had a little bit of a distracted mind anyway, and having learned this skill, it's really opened up a whole new world for me. So it has a personal kind of attraction for me for its kind of potency, its power. It really is such a powerful thing, especially in this day and age when our attention is so easily distracted from the phones and the devices, not just for us as adults, but for our children. And if we can learn as ourselves this learning concentration and powerful laser-like focus, then it means that our whole quality of life improves. And the other thing about it is that attention, I mean, everyone knows, but attention is currency. And there's many conglomerates of multi-billion-dollar companies that are very clever people there who are vying to get our attention, because of course if they do capture our attention, then it's likely we'll buy something from them, and then they have the power over us. And not just them, but also the mass media. It can be, becomes a kind of fear if the mass media have our attention, then they can give us information which is often fear-based. And so they control the narrative. So they kind of almost have control over us. And it kind of can seep in without us realizing it. So that's one thing I do stand for, actually, Christy, is I don't agree with the mass. I mean, it's there, but I personally choose not to watch it because I think it is bad for our level of consciousness, really.
Yeah, and
as well as our ability to focus.
People's own choice what they do and what they listen to. But the big part here is you decide what you actually listen to, what you let in. You mentioned the word focus and concentration. What is the difference, Charlotte?
Yeah, so concentration is our kind of muscle in our brain to be able to use our brain, really. It's kind of like the powerhouse, the hard drive, if we put an analogy as a computer.
Yeah.
Our brain is kind of like the actual hard drive, and then the focus is the software. So it's kind of where we point our laser, and it's also to do as well with intention. So first, if we take a step back, we choose what is our intention. So what is our intended outcome? What do we want to achieve? Or how do we want to live our life? Or what's important to us? What are our values? So we make the intention choice with focused intent. And I mean, that's what intention is. It was something I learned. I didn't know, because people often talk about intention, but what is it? And so it's actually to direct the focus of your mind into one specific thing with kind of like a commitment or energy behind it, so that you can take action on that focus. It's kind of like a compass as well. So once we've got our intention, it directs us to where we want to go.
I guess many of our audience have been studying for an exam, and reading a book, you are going to an exam. It's good to have, what is my focus on reading this chapter in a book? Okay, I have to go to an exam. You have much more laser focus, and I want to remember what it says. You repeat it in your mind instead of just reading a normal book. Sometimes you can read a lot of pages. It's a good book, you remember it. But if it's a not so good book, it's, what did I actually read?
Absolutely, yeah. If we always keep the outcome in mind, the result that we want, we're going for, then that helps us be more focused, right? Because that's where we're going. That's our end point. And the other thing is with this is, instead of having a checklist of things to do, always think about the outcome. Because that's what I like to think in my life, and that's what I like to help others with as well, is always have the outcome in mind. That's where we're focused. That's where our intention is going. And so then when it comes to choosing what we've got to do in the time we've got, we actually make sure we choose the most difficult thing first. We're not just kind of, oh, well, I did that. I'm ticking off, doing the checklist, the ticking off our to-do list, because often we will duck out, kind of almost self-sabotage, and do the easiest thing first. And we might think we're being productive because we've ticked off 5 different things on our list, when actually if we only chose the 5 top most difficult things in our whole to-do list so that we can reach our outcome, then we're going to get to our goal, get to our outcome much faster.
You're hitting the right area there about focusing and writing down what your tasks are and picking out maximum 3 or 5 focus points. Because when you have it written down, your mind relaxes and it doesn't have to remember all of those things. And then you can focus on, okay, I need to do these 3 things. And as you pointed out, sometimes it is good to take the hardest one first. When your energy level is at the top, do the hardest thing when your energy is up. Because when you do a lot of things, you get more and more tired, and then your focus goes away. And then, oh, I'm too tired to make that difficult task. As you have said earlier, if you can master focus, you can maximize productivity and maximize impact. Who doesn't want that?
Absolutely, yes.
Is it easy to train your focus muscle?
Right. So, I mean, first, there's some things we must do to kind of prepare our muscle, so to speak, the preparation. And there's, first of all, I mean, let's first of all talk about the conscious and the subconscious mind quickly. So I think most people know there's much more subconscious mind than there is conscious. It's kind of like the iceberg. The
Yep.
conscious mind's just a tip that we see above the water, and there's all the rest below. And with how this ties into focus and concentration is, in our mind, we have two inner voices. We have our champion and our criticizer inner voice. And so what we want to do is champion the champion voice. And the champion is the one who is always cheering us on. And so we can, if we learn to sort of acknowledge the inner criticizer, because we don't want to sort of squash it down, because then it'll come up stronger. So we acknowledge it, but if we don't give it any energy or any attention, any focus on it, then it gets quieter to the point where eventually it just disappears. And in the beginning, when we realize that, and of course that voice, those voices, kind of like the angel and the, not the devil, but the bad guy on the other shoulder,
or the monkey on the shoulder.
Yes, absolutely. They're not. I mean, they're not us. They're not actually us. They're literally just our subconscious or our ego trying to protect us.
Yeah.
Because that's the criticizer voice. It's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to make sure we don't go out of our comfort zone. But actually, the criticizer is the comfort. And that's the one we don't want, do we? We want to be in the growth. We want to be in the cheerleader, the champion, so that because life is growth centric. It's not comfort centric.
Yeah. Living is growing.
Yes, exactly.
I saw a TEDx talk about, how our inner mind works. And it says it's like a steering wheel. You steer, like, where is your focus? But every day we have a small monkey sitting on our shoulder saying, don't do that. This one is more fun. Go over here. But what is your focus? Where do you need to go? The monkey, perhaps sometimes you use the word inner critic. Sometimes a critical voice is good to listen to. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But be in control of how you react to that inner critic.
Yes, that's right. We call it the champion and the criticizer. So inner champion, inner criticizer.
Yeah.
And when my mentor, when he speaks about it, he really speaks very kind of strongly about saying it to be quiet, but he uses much stronger language than that, because it really is hampering our growth and our contribution.
Yeah.
And it can, if we're not careful, quickly it can knock us down when we want to blossom and grow and contribute and be in the world who we really are meant to be, who we were born to be. And it's that all of that we're speaking about that creates all the things, because my audience as well are exhausted businesswomen. I mean, no businesswoman wants to admit that she's exhausted, but stressed and overwhelmed and maybe getting imposter syndrome. All of these things, self-doubt and guilt, if they're a mother maybe and they want to follow their career, and all these different things they're not real. And that's what is the inner criticizer. That is what keeps all of that going, all of those things, those symptoms going. So if we can kind of, I didn't mean to say that, but if we can kind of recognize that inner voice and let it just kind of wilt, so it can just go down, disappear, so that, and then we literally reprogram ourselves so that we're then champions. We're our own champion, and nothing then can stop us if we can do that.
And it is true, Charlotte. So many businesswomen are in the state of overwhelmed, too many things. And we actually have met a lot of those women, and we recognize they have those feelings right now. But it's good to recognize and then say, okay, that was your past. What is your focus now? And then help them to, in a way, turn around and focus on the good things, the champion in themselves. How can they progress forward.
Yes. Yes, there's a few more things, Christy, on that. Absolutely, which is the champion voice is the yes, I can voice.
Oh,
You know? Yes.
yes.
And it's independent of the good opinion of other people. Because a big thing that holds people back or worries people, gives people anxiety and stress and overwhelm is what other people think of them. But actually it doesn't exist either, because they're too busy worrying about what you're thinking about them, for one thing. And also it's just it's a mental construct. It's not real. It's something we make up in our own mind, and it sabotages
Is it about the word confidence? How much they rely on themselves?
Exactly. Yes. And to really take absolutely full radical personal responsibility, and just have that awareness. I mean, Christy, it's ultimately it starts with awareness again. It's all of this work is self-awareness and knowing these things, which we're not taught in schools. And quite honestly, I really think we all all of this.
It should be basic learnings.
Yeah, and for teenagers when they're growing up, it would make. But of course, the system doesn't want us to know all this, and because it keeps us small, it keeps us in the box, it keeps us under what they want us to do, under the rules, so to speak. But I'm a free thinker. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but I kind of think I used to be a teacher. I didn't mention I used to be a primary school teacher, 8 to 9 year olds.
Yeah.
And I would love to have taught them all of this, and they would have kind of soaked it up like a sponge, and it would help people so much in their life path. Some people get it naturally, Christy, don't they? But it all boils down to programming, conditioning, what we've received, what our ancestors went through, because it all features in us, in each of us.
You mentioned a really good word about how much do you let other people's opinion affect you? That is our surroundings, because when you are surrounded by people who have good habits, it rubs off on you. And when you think about the word about concentration and focus, other things help as well. Are you sitting at a cluttered desk? What about your mind? Is that cluttered as well? Do you have, I want to do 100 things. No one can do 100 things. Declutter your mind, and not just your desk. Put it away so you don't forget it, but you say, I'll take it later. And you decide what you focus on. Oh, it's so much good words. So we use the inner champion. That's a good word.
And also about him or her, is he's always encouraging, really encouraging you. So you talk to yourself in an encouraging way. And also it's the voice that overcomes fear, literally, and it overcomes doubt. So and it calls us to our potential is the other thing.
It's good to use when you do gratitude. What has happened good? When you do your journaling, what are the good things that happened today? Get your inner champion out there and say, okay, this was good. This was good.
Yes. And you saying that as well makes me think of the other thing that's so important. I mean, it's also holistic. It's all intertwined, all of this. I know we're not talking specifically right now about focus, but on that is our self-worth. We have to have very high self-esteem, self-worth, self-image. So we have inherent worth, inherent value in ourselves, and we're unbreakable, we're unshakable, we have inherent worth, and so do you. And then also our relationships improve, because we just have that level of respect and level of knowing between people, and it just kind of lifts everybody up. In fact, in this work, I have a program. It's called Elevate to Prosper. It's a system, and this is the kind of thing where this is the whole thrust of this work we do, Christy, isn't it?
There are so many things, and people are saying, focus, that is easy. I just focus. But think about all the people out there who are doing and searching on social media, on the internet, using their phone or their laptop. People are in the age of information overload. And that actually affects how much we can focus, because it is normal when people are looking on the net, they get so many things in their mind. They get decision fatigue, they get tired. Is this relevant for me to use or not? Then they scroll to the next thing. And they actually get what's called a dopamine kick. Oh, that's exciting. I can use that. Next page. Oh, that is exciting as well. But it is important to get most use of our time. Focus and get your energy, get all your uniqueness out on what you focus on.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I was just going to move on to the energy piece, because the practical to set ourselves up to win, practical tips are that first of all, we were doing a demonstration before, but I can quickly do it, is to get our brain in the right brain state. So we lift up one knee and we touch it with our opposite elbow. So it's your elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee. And you can do that left to right is 1. So you do 30. And that literally, it balances the brain. So we're in a whole brain state. So both hemispheres of the brain, the right brain, the left brain, are working together. And the other thing with that is you want to listen to binaural beats, which helps us get into the right brain frequency, which is alpha. Alpha brainwave frequency is the best for high concentration.
When do you advise people to do the exercises and listening to that kind of music? Is it before you need to focus or while you're focusing?
Yes, so we do the cross, it's called cross crawls, that exercise. Do the cross crawls before you want to sit down to concentrate for your 45 minutes, and then play the music while you're doing it. And you can have it on at the same time. It just depends and what suits you. You know, we're all different, so it's whatever feels best for you and the individual. And also, once you've listened to binaural beats a lot, then you can get into alpha brainwave state kind of automatically. You don't have to listen to the binaural beats anymore.
It's like training your muscle. You get more used to it. Like, now I need to focus. Do the cross crawls and then go focus.
Yes, do the cross, exactly. Yeah, and even that becomes more automatic. These are kind of little tools to help us to get into the state we want to be, so that we can really use our best focus and concentration and the work we're going to be doing. But so that's that. But as well, before all of that, we have to breathe. I'm losing my breath a bit now. Take a deep breath. So you have to take a deep breath, and so that means using your whole lungs. So breathing in, almost to the count of 10, as much as you can breathe in, and then hold it for a little while, and then breathe out. And do it sitting down, because sometimes you can get a bit dizzy. People can get dizzy, you don't want you to fall over. So you sit down while you do it. That's what we do. And we do that, let's say 10 times. And then we use, most people are aware of this these days with the yoga and all the things but the belly breathing. So we keep reminding ourselves to breathe in our abdomen, breathe in our diaphragm. So it's diaphragmatic breathing,
Yeah, the belly has to move, the stomach has to move in and out. So you're using your whole body breathing.
Yes, exactly. And to try to remember to do that all the time, not just when we remember, but keep reminding ourselves, so it becomes then again automatic. And because when we're concentrating into focus, the brain needs the oxygen. That's why we have to breathe. We need the energy in the brain to get the oxygen into the brain, right? So we've got to oxygenate the brain as much as we can. And then the next thing is to hydrate. So we drink a good amount of water, because we need a lot of water to be able to focus well. And then, of course, control our environment, as you were saying before. The distractions, put a notice on the door saying, do not disturb. Or if you've got family, I don't know if you know this, but have the traffic light system.
Yeah.
Christy, yes.
So I know it. When
yeah.
you have really small children, it doesn't work. I can actually say the traffic light on another door, then they go that way. You know, focus is where there are signs. What is that? That's on the other door. So they go that way.
That's really good. But just for people, in case you didn't know, so if it's red, you put red on the door, then they know on everybody, not just the children, but everyone knows not to disturb you. If it's amber, then yeah, if it's red, and of course there's an emergency, then definitely you still come in. So what we're talking about is controlling the environment.
Yeah.
And so minimize distractions, create support. In fact, Baroque music, listening Baroque music in particular is very good for that, getting into the alpha.
It's the classical music, kind of.
Yes, that's it. And if you're on YouTube, to search for 10 hertz. So hertz is it's the amount of beats kind of thing a minute or so. I'm not precisely sure if I've described that properly, but the 10 hertz is the one we need, ideally. And then block your time, and this is your piece. And so what I teach is 45 minutes. People disagree, but so we basically go through that: hydrate, oxygenate, breathe, hydrate, make sure your environment's clear, do your cross crawls, and have your music, you do your music on your binaural beats, and then do your most difficult thing first for 45 minutes, very focused work, and then stop and go away from wherever you're working, have a little walk around, have a little bit more water, go to the loo, because that can be a distraction as well.
Yeah.
All of these things. And, number one, self-care, of course. So often I can be in the middle of something, I want to go to the loo, but I don't let myself. And that's that's not good.
I know there has been a lot of discussions about how long time a time block should be. Some people have used the Pomodoro technique. It says about 25 minutes. Some people are doing it longer. When you're doing it for the first time, doing the time blocks, some of it is about experimenting, because it's training your muscle there as well. I have been, in big corporate environments. There are about 20 people in the same room, and some say, I can't concentrate. But even there, you can use tips like, putting something in your ear or over your ears. So you're saying to other people, now I'm in my focus. You can interrupt me later, but now I need to focus. The cross crawls, if I would standing up, can I do that? But I can actually do a smaller one, just connecting. This I can do sitting as well. So you can do, and the breathing, you can do that anytime.
Yes. And with the cross crawls, there's other variations as well that I could demonstrate some other time. So exactly. So then the focus routine becomes a habit. And, if you do, just for this, if you did 2 45-minute intensive focus sessions, that's an hour and a half. And if you did, to build up to 3 or 4 a day, then you start to really create a productive kind of, routine. And it's so fun, and it's create so much good.
One of the tips about focusing is also to minimize multitasking. Focus on one task. And that for some can be difficult, because I want to do. So that is about training the muscle again. Do this focus. The other things can come afterwards.
Yes, exactly. And I think as well, that's self-awareness, Christy, because the brain will justify, if it tells you, because if that's the voice you're hearing, you're not in control, it is. So then you're living by default. You're not living by design. And so having the awareness to, oh yes, that is not so great. I'm intending on doing this. This is my intention. I don't want to do that. I mean, I get it all the time. don't get me wrong, I find it hard to focus, but I'm getting better.
We're both human beings. And when people like you
Yes.
are talking about the conscious and subconscious mind, I like your story about the red Ferrari.
Oh, yes. Yes. So that is when we're using, that is the concentration piece. If we are not using, let's imagine the red Ferrari, it's got 6 gears, not 4. So and so that you can relate to our brain. We have 6 gears in our brain, and most of us are not even touching anywhere near the ability of what the brain is capable of. And we're literally in 3rd gear or 2nd gear most of the time. And so once we learn to concentrate, it's not just you get more, you're actually focusing and working, but you get more done and you get it done better. And you're using higher faculties of the brain in that process. And the more you sort of encourage yourself to learn to focus and build your muscle of concentration, it's getting better all the time. It's building, making you more aware. You're tapping into something else, your intuition, your higher frequency. You're getting there's all these so many benefits for building the muscle of concentration. And the kind of downside is if we don't, we lose it. It gets worse, as you know. I mean, things, Alzheimer's and things like that. And Alzheimer's actually is reversible. I've listened to doctors that is my belief. Yeah. And if we don't take, again, radical personal responsibility and make ourselves build our muscle of concentration, then and it's well known, isn't it? We work our body to keep it fit and strong, and people do things like crosswords and work their mind to keep that muscle strong too. I mean, it's
something
not new
about
information,
the time blocking. If you agreed with yourself, okay, now I will focus. Let's just say your example about 45 minutes. It's also important that you have a break after the 45 minutes, because then your brain will over time say, okay, I'm usually getting stopped at 45 minutes, so I really need to focus and use my energy. Because when you say, oh, I'll just take 10 minutes more, and after, your brain gets more unfocused and more tired. You end up doing more failures, and it's not getting any worth out of it. So make an agreement with yourself and stick to it.
Yes, that's the thing. The declaration, isn't it? You make the declaration to yourself and to other people, then it's stronger. And I mean, the worst is making the declaration and not doing it, for sure.
I know some people say, caffeine, it helps me to focus. Science says it's okay with a little caffeine, but not too much, because you can overdo that. And then your concentration goes down the drain as well. So a little bit is science-based, but not a lot. Meditation. Is this something you've come across as well? Yes,
absolutely. I meditate regularly. I don't have a daily practice, but that is my goal, and it's just a matter of when I really apply myself to all of these things. And I know the power of it. And right now I'm in a good space, Christina. I'm feeling good about life. I really am. Life is great. And that's another thing about all of this is if we choose to make a choice. So I feel great now, no matter what. And that automatically puts us in a different level of consciousness, a different frequency. And meditation, absolutely, because it lets all of that inner criticizer and all those thoughts that are just they're just chatter, right? They're like the monkey mind, let's say. It's not real, it's not thinking, it's just how the brain works. It has that going on all the time.
Yeah. Like you mentioned about our bodies, they also affect how much we concentrate. And I'm reading from an article, this was published in 22. It's about when you're stressed, oh no, it could be kids screaming, colleagues arguing, something like that. It releases cortisol in your body. And it has been proven that too much cortisol can hinder focus. So if you're in a stress state, shift, do something other, breathing, and then you will be better equipped to focus. So if you're feeling, oh, I can't focus, I'm stressed, it's okay, it's normal. It's your body reacting. So
Yes,
no,
okay.
there are tips about how to get away from it. But we are all human beings and reacting to our hormones and cortisol. So both men and women.
Yes, and adrenaline, the caffeine and as you say, the cortisol and the adrenaline, if it's too high, yeah, we're just, we can't focus. That's right. And the other thing, of course, on that piece is which are very popular these days, the nootropics.
Yeah.
These are supplements people can take to enhance our focus and productivity. There's a lot to be said. There's all this, as you say, science into it and things that really do work. I don't have any recommendations right now, but I'm aware of people who do. And so I mean, concentration is the foundational skill when it comes to learning, because it helps us become twice as effective and it cuts your learning time and it raises our frequency, as we mentioned. And so that means then we get more financial opportunities. They will increase, not just, opportunities generally, the people we come across, and also the circumstances that we come into. And so it increases our emotional bank account, as you say, we'll be less triggered in that kind of situation. Because as soon as we allow our emotions to come out, then that's when it spikes the cortisol, it spikes the adrenaline.
Yeah.
And it takes longer for the body to recover. And that also it makes that neural pathway. We want to cut those bad pathways off. We want to build new ones that are more self-helping, not self-supporting. Another
easy exercise you can do if you're sitting at a desk in a big company, it's also called the 20-20-20. It's about every 20 minutes, stare at a thing that is about 20 meters or some way distant from you, and just look at it for 20 seconds. It also helps to your eyes and how your brain works. It helps you to relax and focus and go back. And then you get even more focused and concentrated. It's just like, I'm thinking, focus on a distance. It could be a painting on the wall. Okay, and then go back. So the 20-20-20 is another small exercise you can do anywhere.
Yeah, that's a great tip. It's like a brain break. I remember, I haven't been teaching for a while, but especially for the children who had learning differences, they couldn't concentrate for so long, say an hour, for a class was an hour long. So then they start getting distracted, and then there were behavioral problems. But our brain isn't designed to keep going for very long periods of time. It can't concentrate, as you say, for so long, like the Pomodoro techniques, 20-25 minutes. 45 even is perhaps a bit long for some people. And so we just have to find what works for us. And as you say, slotting in all these little techniques. And another one is gazing at a candle, or as you say, a spot on the wall. Yeah. And again, there's like a mini meditation. You just observe your thoughts going past and just allow yourself to relax. A big part of this is relaxation. If we're not relaxed, we can't focus, point, period. Right?
I think we two can talk about this subject for many hours.
Yes, we've talked a lot already. Yeah.
And we love it. So just to sum up what we've been talking about is how to get a powerful concentration, developing a laser-like focus. And why do this? In order to use our time better and be allowed to get to our goals faster and having time for a lot of other things we want to do in life. So we're almost at an end for today. Follow this channel and you can see links to just contact me or to Charlotte. But just to end this up, is there anything you can tell more about what you're doing at the moment, Charlotte? Any interesting going on?
Yes, thank you, Christy. I've got a masterclass coming up soon. It's an extended masterclass, and we'll be covering this kind of area. This is all personal development, personal transformation, in fact.
So a lot more than this.
Yeah. So helping women to, get out of this overstretched and feeling in kind of achiever mode all the time, to find a better level of living, kind of in flow, rather than always trying to achieve something, which when you get to the top of the mountain, what's the next thing? You're going to climb the next one. It actually isn't. It's a fallacy as well, that whole achieving. What we want to go for is fulfillment, so that's what I teach people to learn to live, to get deep ultimate fulfillment, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning. So you can create a life you love, so you have more joy and abundance and freedom, as you mentioned, in our lives. So yes, I've got a freebie. Christy's going to drop it, I think, in the below this video. And yes, if you're interested to get out of any difficult experience, any symptom you're experiencing for the audience, then yeah, I'd be delighted to help you. And we can contact each other, and we'll put the information below the video.
So there are so many things we can help and relate to what the audience have been experiencing themselves. And yes, there are solutions to so many things. And being stressed or multitasking or whatever, we have experienced a lot of it, and we know there is a way out. So it takes time, but a lot can be done. So I will say thank you, Charlotte, for doing this. And perhaps we'll do it again. We can talk several hours on this topic or another topic, and we'll love it. You can see the smiles on both of our faces. So I'm going to say bye for now, and follow this channel, and let's skip to the good part. Let's go and have a great day out there. See you. Bye.
Bye.